Hello, everyone. Author DL Taylor here, the Mischief of Horror, and also doing these sprints. I'm known the goddess of darkness because we are the goddesses of writing, and this is the 90K writing challenge that is back up and running. Has been for a minute now, but yeah. So I'm here, only 30 minutes behind, but that was planned. I did make the time adjustment on the stream. I meant to make sure I had my dinner on time tonight for sure because I have doctor's appointments tomorrow, and you can't eat within a certain amount of hours of that appointment. So I had to make sure that I did that and followed the doctor's orders because otherwise tests can't be done. So that's really why I was 30 minutes late because life stuff set so. Anyway, I'm here and ready to get some work done. And if you are joining me for the live or maybe on replay, then you can let me know you're working on the chat if you're here live. If you are popping in on the replay, then you can let me know in the comment section, and I will, of course, reply when I see it. If you are here tonight again, then you can let me know what you're working on in the chat, or if you're just hanging out. And be sure to hit the like button so that people can find this later. And if you are not subscribed to the channel, then you already know what to do. You gotta hit that subscribe button so you can know when I'm doing my live streams. And they are on Tuesdays and Sundays of the week. And I upload videos on Sundays once a week. And I have been doing some daily uploads for shorts. So you can check out my shorts as well and see what's going on over there. Kind of like a type of dark fantasy, dark romance prompts and or storytelling through prompts and shorts. So check it out. It's kind of a fun time. Hey Al, how you doing? Happy to see you here. Yep, I was here only 30 minutes behind, but I mean 15 minutes behind. Really, because I usually start at 6, so 15 minutes isn't too bad. But I was like, let me set this to go. Um, yeah, so let's get some work done tonight. It could be editing, could be writing, could be um just something productive. It doesn't really have to be writing, doesn't have to be editing. You could be working on editing a trailer. You could be making whatever. You could be sewing. You could be doing whatever you want. Sometimes these lives are good just to get the time in and know what you want to do. So let me get the first sprint screen up here. See which 45-minute sprint we want to do tonight. Let me look at this and see. I think that one's a 20-minute. I think I started with at the dusk. We could do Magic in the Woods for the first one. That's a nice one too. Let me add that to the live. There we go. So what else I've been working on? I put out my newsletter yesterday because it's the fourth. It was the fourth Monday of the month. If you're not subscribed to the newsletter again, then you know that you should be. The links are in the description because you can decide to get a free copy of Winter Wolf, my dark fantasy novella, which hasn't come out any other way besides printed in the back of Caliostro's paperback or hardback. But I do plan to release it at some point solo. So you could get it free now if you join my newsletter. And don't be one of those people that just wants to get the book and then when you get the first email, you unsubscribe. Let's be decent people, okay? There are some people that do that, and it's fine if they do that. But, I mean, writers, we do get no respect a lot of the times. People will just want to get our free stuff and then disappear when they could simply just stay subscribed. They might actually come across another book later that they like or something, but you always got the few. But I've been growing my newsletter recently, which is a very important thing for a writer to do, is to grow their newsletter, because you never know if you're going to lose connection with your readers, and that is your way to have direct connection with your readers. So I've been building through author swaps, people who love to read books in my genre, and it's turned out quite well thanks to all the Dale L. Roberts info and insights and advice. And I grew my newsletter by about 54 to 60 new people in under 30 days by doing that. So definitely worth doing. I have a membership to BookFunnel, and that's where I'm able to do my newsletter swaps with other authors there. They're definitely worth the subscription. I think it's $100 a year, or you could do $10 a month. So it is like you could fit a budget for that. But I think one of those type of services is really good to have for indie author, because we do need to grow our newsletters to be able to directly be in connection with our readers. Um, so I've been doing that, and that worked out pretty well, because now I'm about 80 subscribers, which is good in my opinion, especially since I went from 20 something to about 80. I only lost 4 people from the new people that I got, who were just in it to get free stuff and not really be subscribed to see what my work is. Um, but they could have stayed subscribed until after they read the free things they got, because they could like my work, and then they might want to stay subscribed, because then they could get more stuff before other people. They could get something else free. They would know when my work is coming out and completed. They could possibly be beta readers or ARC readers and get a free copy of a book that before it comes out. But some people really don't think ahead, and they think in the moment. So they just wanted free stuff. But I only lost 4 of those people. That's pretty average and usual. You always got the people that's just out to get something free and don't really want to be subscribed. And I really don't want people who don't want to be subscribed. So there's that. So anyway, to say all that, that's what I'm doing this week. I will be working on Caliostro tonight, doing these sprints. So we have 2 sprints, so we'll be here until after 8:30 tonight. So mark your time. And let's go ahead and start the first sprint, and I will see you in 45 minutes. Happy writing. And that's time, everybody. Let's see here. And I'm trying to get it to change the layout. Hello, layout. There we go. That's better. Alrighty, so let me know how you did. If you were ready during the sprint, we do have another 45 minutes. Maybe we'll have time for like a 20, maybe. Because I'm running to about 8:30 tonight. So if I get the other 45 minutes started soon, then we could probably have time for another extra one tonight instead of 2:45. So we can have 2:45s and a 20. Let's see. Let's play with it, see what happens. Anyway, I did about probably 450 words that time. I had to do other things in between, so that's fun. Busy night. I have so much to do. Caliostro's coming along. Caliostro book 2, which is Fading of the Veil is the name of book 2. And if I can sit down long enough to get these words in, I swear. I have a writing schedule to do for the week, but like, if everyone knew all the stuff that I have going on right now, oh my God. I wish I did not right now. I just wish I could just write, And I feel the universe is throwing so much stuff at me in this year, right at the same time, that I don't understand why. It's just too much. It's honestly too much, and I'm trying not to. I can't afford to be stressed. I just cannot, because that's why I almost wouldn't be here right now talking to you guys, because of my stress levels got so high, and I have this autoimmune that cannot do that because it will make my immune system attack me, and of course that's attack my brain. So it's like this year there's so much. At the same time, if it was spread out, it wouldn't be as a big deal. But it's not spread out. It's like all happening at the same time. And I'm still recovering. And so I didn't need it. But there's not much you could do about that. You only can play the hand that you're dealt. So there's that. But I just want to write. I just want to write my book. But I have to do all the things and write my book. So the process is longer because of that. Plus, I have things to take care of. Like stuff that I am doing. My channel, of course, I have ARC reading. Alpha reading for one writer. Trying to finish that, but trying to find time to even read right now is a little difficult. So, but I should hopefully be able to finish that Alpha read this week, I would hope. But every time I turn around, I have a doctor's appointment, it's 2 hours or something. And then I still have to work. I still have to go to work. And it's like, being a writer with the day job and all the other crazy things in life is very distracting, to say the least. Let's see. Even though I was distracted, I just started writing. I got 54 words. And hey, 54 words, so you're distracted. I know, right? Writers just want to write, right? We do. We don't want to do those other things, but here we are, Yay, book 2, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'm working on it. I still want to try to release it in December. It's mostly done for the first draft. I still got those couple of chapters to finish out. And then I have to go back and do the second draft, which is when I add all the other. Usually my first drafts run for my novels around between 35,000 to 40,000 words. That's because I hadn't added all the add-on. And usually my second draft adds in about another 40,000, 45,000 words generally, when I go back and do my second draft. So then it becomes the full novel for the first draft, for the second draft, and then I get to do all the self edits. Then it goes to my alpha. I usually have one, two, three, about 3 alphas, and then I get back this stuff for my alphas, and then I do another self edit. But yeah, it's a whole thing. I actually have a video planned to talk about my writing process for finishing my drafts and finishing my novels, so that's always fun. Anyway, let's get the second 45-minute sprint ready to go. I am going to switch the timer. Who I have here? Let's see what I want to play. It's got to be more than 45 minutes. I made a few of those, but my Caliostro ones are 30 minutes. So I'm going to do the cat. Let me see. Timer's on. I have 4. I think, did I make 4 or 5? I cannot remember. Let's see. Let's see here. Okay. I have these ones. I think I'm just going to use the goddess one for this one. Because it's for this one. Yeah, that's facts. All right. No 4 words is better than no words. I know. You're right about that. All right. Let's add this to the stage. I need to remove this. Add this. There we go. Okay. Let's go ahead and jump on our next 45-minute sprint. When we come back, we'll see what time we got. We'll chat for a couple minutes, and then maybe we'll do a small cool down sprint. Yes, a day job, other errands, and writing. No joke. I feel like crying sometimes. Yeah. Yeah. 100. Yeah. Sometimes definitely want to do that. Doesn't really help too much, but yeah, I tend to vent now, so that my stress isn't like compiling. Doesn't really solve any of the issues, but it's better than being stressed and getting hospitalized again. That would be. I can't afford to do that because I gotta stick around for my kids. So, all right, y'all, let's go ahead and get those words in. No, 45 minutes, and I'll see you at the top of the hour. Happy writing. And that's time for that second sprint, everyone. Let me know how you did in the chat. I was chatting it up. Aphrodite showed up. Jocelyn showed up. Devin showed up. We sprint. It's 45 minutes, a long time. So hello, Devin. Hello, Jocelyn. Though I said hi to you there, but I didn't vocally. Aphrodite showed up, the other goddess of mischief. Currently working on a secret project, and Canva is amazing. I agree. Canva is awesome. Al was talking. I did was informing everybody before I say Al's message was. I wasn't informing everybody the music that was playing. That last song is from the official soundtrack for Caliostro's book, and that particular song was Duncan Winterwolf's song, who also has a novella out. If you subscribe to my newsletter, you can download it. Actually, you download it first, and then I put you in for the newsletter. So that's always in my description. It is a good novella. I don't toot my own horn, but I will. But yes, it's a connection to the Caliostro world, and the book itself is the novella. Is before Caliostro's first book. So it kind of gives you insight into who Duncan is outside of being a watcher. So it's called Winterwolf Tale of the Watcher. That is the novella that you get to download. It's dark fantasy. So if you want to read it for free before it's going to be pulled as my news magnet, as I do have a second book that is second short story that is a magnet as well. And that's La Draga, which is a monster horror, and it is based in Cagliostro's world. But this one is more directly connected. Only other way to get this story is to buy the paperback or hardback of Cagliostro. So the ebook only comes with La Draga. If you get the paperback or hardback, you can still get a printed copy of Winterwolf. The only other way to get a copy of Winterwolf is to join my newsletter, because when you download Winterwolf, you are saying you want to join the newsletter, which happens once a month. So I think it's a fair trade. But at some point, I'm going to release Winterwolf solo, and then it will be no longer available as a newsletter magnet. So you don't want to wait and snooze on that, to be clear. Because if you do, then you won't be getting it for free anymore. I'm just warning you now. And it is a good story. So that song that was playing, the last one, is called Silence, Daytime, Nighttime, and it is one of the official songs from the official soundtrack for Cagliostro's book, and that is Duncan Winterwolf's song for book one. It is a long one because the first version of Silence is actually not Duncan's song. This version of Silence, Daytime, Nighttime is Duncan's song. So, and people who did the Kickstarter have a copy of the official soundtrack as well. So that's always fun. So Al was talking about the Barnes and Nobles. Barnes and Nobles is opening up. Where is that comment? Did I miss it? Back up here. Where? Yeah, here. Here, the second part. And on a side note, I'm sure you guys have heard they are opening a whole lot of more Barnes and Nobles in the U.S. Yes, I had heard a little tidbit of that, and then I knew one was opening up here in Westminster, and it did. The grand opening isn't tomorrow or something like that, right here in Westminster. So that's really cool. So they are doing that. It's really, really, really cool. And I was saying, Barnes and Noble is still widely known, even with new tech, of course, but for as writers who know live events, book signings, etc. Yeah, they actually, one of the Barnes and Nobles was having a really good, thing for authors a little while back. I don't know which location it was. It was one of the locations in Maryland, and they were letting you sign up to do book signings or something. It was on their Instagram. So it's really cool. They're a good store. I actually, funny, I just got physical copies of Winterwolf because there is a physical version of Winterwolf, and I ordered some of the copies that I had produced through Barnes and Noble Press. They do print good, but I had some problems with them at first. It was such a big pain in the butt. The printing was not going well. they were messing, like the printers that they were using to, push my books out to have them printed for me were messing up every single copy. They messed up Caliostro so many times that I ended up with extra copies because they botched it 3 freaking times. And it wasn't my files. It wasn't any of that. It was them, the printers just messing up left and right. So much so they were like, is it just the third time they were like, well, is it just the dust jacket or is it the book? I'm like, well, it's the dust jacket. So technically, if you wanted to, you could just send me the dust jackets. And they end up sending the whole books again. And this was like an order of like 35, 40 books, copies of Caliostro, the hardback special dust jacket edition. And so they messed up like 3 times. The paperback got messed up a few times, but eventually they got it right. But I had so many extra copies of ones that were okay because they kept messing up something in the order and they just would redo the whole order every time. So it was ridiculous. But Barnes & Noble is a good bookstore. And I'm always for physical media because I don't think physical media should go away just because we have digital media. I never understood the concept of that. If we have some type of entertainment that goes digital, we should still have the physical. We should never do away with physical media because then it's 100 controlled by the entity that puts it out. And that's not good for the consumer. Let's be honest. Consumers can think it is, but it's not. Being a gamer, I would say otherwise for sure. Definitely not good for them to have 100% control over something you purchased and you never have control because then they can get rid of it and you may never be able to get it back. So I like physical media. I still buy physical books. I'm very big into physical books. So, and I have digital books and okay with digital books and audiobooks, but there still should be physical options. I do not think we should ever go full digital on anything. It's not a good idea, in my opinion. Yes, love me some Camp. I'm with you on that. Yes, Duncan. Made a teeny bit of progress. A teeny bit of progress is good stuff. Yes, Barnes & Noble has adopted an indie bookstore mindset. That's good. It's always good. I'll be doing a book sign at Barnes & Noble. I feel that. Can I have a mess of coffee so that I can make more rolls? Right. Yeah, I know you did that with yours. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I don't. I definitely am a physical media type. Yep. I think we should always definitely keep physical media. I don't think we should ever get rid of it. It's just not a good idea. And I'm a tech head, but I'm also, I think, ahead of things and how things work. No, definitely not. You leaving the power in the entity's hand of what you paid money for. They can say, well, this is just a license we're releasing to you to use this thing. Yes, the book, like let's say books for instance. Yes, you don't own what the writer wrote. You own the physical book of the story, but you don't own what the writer wrote. Clearly, duh, we know this. But having the physical book is, to me, is important. Not to mention the respect to the author who went through all that to make the thing, have all that other entities come in and make this book. But the physical book, I like to turn the pages, smell the pages, like the physical book. I love that. But you don't have that with digital. Digital books are fine. Don't get me wrong. I have them. But they should never be the only thing around. I think the book entertainment has somewhat have that and held it, but they have their issues too. Because if I want to purchase a book after it comes out, it's a problem. So let's say the book released in hardback and paperback and digital and audiobook, and I did not get a chance to purchase the hardback, then that's going to be a problem getting. And then at some point, the paperback is going to be an issue, or the mass market paperback. It really depends on the book, because I'm a big R.A. Salvatore fan, and I love Dritz. And once these books come out, you're going to have to pay an arm and a leg to a scalper to get the hardback version or just a paperback in some cases. And you're going to end up having to take more not in perfect shape copies because of you didn't get a chance to purchase them at the time they released, because some things happen in people's lives and they may not be able to purchase a thing. But the way when digital books became a big thing, this is when this started happening. They produced less physical copies. So this is what has affected the book market. You know, that has affected it because we have ebooks, which are great, but them existing the way they have and have dominated, like how people read and audiobook are picking up, it has affected the physical as far as when they put stuff out. So it's always affects the physical media that exists in the entertainment, and it's sad to see it because we do need to still produce physical media. Sorry, the video games definitely. I'm a big gamer, and I don't like the fact that they're trying to completely do away with physical games, and only place we're going to be able to get physical games is limited run and places like VGP, which is a Canadian game store that produces stuff to make sure we have physical. But I'm like, the video game industry is just a whole nother beast that don't have sense because they somehow think that going fully digital is good. It's not. It is not positive for the consumer whatsoever. It's literally going to destroy itself because of it, trying to do away with physical. There's no point. At least books didn't go that far because it's ridiculous. Al said that's right. Yeah, I still read physical books because it's better for your eyes, and I have hardcover books. Yeah, I have a small library in my house. I have about 6,000 books, and I buy books mostly on the regular. Usually particular writers that I like. I buy indie books more now too, as well, to support indie authors. But definitely physical book here, girl here. I have a lot of digital books as well, but obviously I have more physical books. And my favorite writer, R.A. Salvatore, and Dritz being my favorite fantasy character that he writes about, I'm very much into having his physical books. I don't have any signed books by R.A. Salvatore because I always missed him, but I can get like the book signed on his website now, and then when it comes out, he'll sign it and then they'll mail it to you. So I'm probably going to do that, but I never got a chance to get anything signed by him, sadly. But this will be the first time because I think his newest book comes out, it's like October or November or something like that. And yeah, I'm going to get that from him directly because it doesn't cost much less on Amazon. I think the book's like $27 for the hardback, and he's selling it for $30 on his website signed. So I think I'm just going to do that when it comes out, so I can finally have a book signed by him. So that's probably what I will do. But yeah, I'm a big Dritz fan. I did show some of my collection of Dritz books on my video when I was doing my book tour, which I never finished that because I had another like 800 books to show in that tour, which was like crazy. Let me check the chat real quick. Devin says, speaking of camp, I still need to get you guys that Smexy build up scene for the character art I had made, adding the list next week. Yeah, cool, please do. All right. I'm going to create my own book market. I have some ideas for physical store. All my newsletter subs will be getting a discount on pre-orders on my now completed trilogy. Nice, good idea. I just got book back from the copier this morning. Nice, good job. Yeah, Aphrodite, that's what was your favorite. Left all logic. You funny girl. I love your stuff, duh. Dude, I read so many authors, but yeah, R.A. Salvatore's like been my favorite writer like since I was a kid. So, and of course, J.R.R. Tolkien. I'm a big fantasy girl, like straight fantasy. But yeah, but of course, you're in the list of the top favorites. Because your stuff be like, I need a fan. I need a fan. Yeah, you seen Dritz? Yes, Dritz is the man. Like, I love Dritz because he's a dark elf from Forgotten Realms. And Forgotten Realms is a world that anybody really can write in, as far as that's concerned. So R.A. Salvatore was just one of the writers that writes in Forgotten Realms because there's other writers that write in it. But Dritz is an icon, and he's very unique because he has onyx skin, and he's an elf. He's not the usual what they call, some of the elves in fantasy worlds are like, they either really pale or they some of them have like tan skin and stuff like that. The wood elves tend to be tan because they're wooded, and then you have like sea elves, they're blue usually. And then you have a whole bunch of like wind elves. You have all kinds of elements of elves, and everybody can take J.R.R. Tolkien for creating elvish and all the elvish stuff, and everybody just feeds from it. But Dritz is a drow. That's a very particular type of dark elf from the Forgotten Realms world. And Drit's his icon because he's different than the other drow, because the drow usually are kind of like evil. They live underground too. Um, so they have white hair and they are onyx skinned. Like their skin color is onyx. And Dritz has purple eyes, so like a violet color, which is very unique to him. And his father, I think, might have had purple eyes too. But Dritz isn't evil, and most of the drow are known for that. And you find that out in the world of Forgotten Realms. But Dritz himself is not. So you follow his story. His love interest name is Canterbury. She is a human with red hair. And then you have dwarfs. You have Brunar, who the dwarf Brunar is Canterbury's stepfather for all intents and purposes. He raised her. And then you had Wolfgar, who's another main character. And of course, Dritz's sidekick is like a Black Panther. So he's a very unique character. He carries two swords, which I really love. But yeah, Dritz is the man. Love Dritz. Long running series. He has a daughter now. That's the new book that's coming out this fall. And I think the name is like my name is not Dritz's daughter. She's she got an attitude too, so I probably really like her. But Drit's been through it, man. He's been through it. He's such an interesting character for real. So yeah, look up Forgotten Realms. It is a long one. It's got so many books in that. But look up R. Salvatore. He writes other stuff besides Drit's stories, but Drit's is like chef's kiss. Like Drit's story is crazy good. He goes through too much stuff. There's a lot of characters involved, but I love Drit's. I'm a Drit's fan big time. So I have like all his action figures that came out that are good ones. I only got the good ones. And mostly all the books. I'm missing a few because I had years where things happened, but I'm mostly got all of them, but some of them in big collector sets. And then there's a few that I have missed that were recent ones. I have like his Dungeons and Dragons, because it is Dungeons and Dragons world as well, which I'm sure most people know what Dungeons and Dragons is, because Dritz tends to be on the games for that. And his name is spelled like Drizzt. And sometimes in the book they call him the Drizzit, just to be funny. I think R. Salvatore took that when a fan had said it, which is kind of funny. Yeah, 143 books in Forgotten Realms. Yeah, it's a lot. I'm not gonna lie. Like, not necessarily in Drit's series for sure, but if you look up Drit's, you'll see like his books also. So a lot of them are hard to get physical now. Like you can get a lot of ebooks, and he did do a re-release of the old series of Drit's. But sometimes you could buy the collector sets. They are expensive because they've been around for a minute. I have those. They are high. The scalpers get a little crazy. But yeah, if you ever get interested in Dritz, oh my god, Dritz, he's something else, that one. But yeah, it's fantasy has always been my thing. So, and epic fantasy on top of it, because J.R. Tolkien stuff was really really long. So, but I could talk about fantasy forever. So obviously we just going to talk out the rest of this stream and not do another sprint, because I ran my mouth for a while. You asked me about Dritz, it's over. It's over. Yeah. And Dritz is unique too because he has, to me, onyx skin. And I think it's such a big deal because he's very dark skinned, and a skin tone that we don't have on this planet. And of course, that's why I always like fantasy, because I don't really want to read about stuff that we have here. But these type of things I notice, and like when people talk or chat about different characters, and the characters are different to this point, some of our issues start integrating into it, and you can see it. I've seen like people in like chats about Dritz, and then they will be like, well, this version of Dritz is better, blah, blah, blah. Because you'll see some versions of Dritz where he looks like he's like tan skinned, and Dritz is not. That always made me mad. Like they would try to make him gray. They would like gray him out, try to make him air quote lighter skinned, and they would like make him grayer looking, because it really depends on what artist he used at the time. Because there's two artists that usually draw us to R.A. Salvatore for Dritz. And I'm into them too, because I have like their art books and stuff. But I've seen it where they done it and they were like, oh, this lighter skinned version of Dritz. You'll see it going around. He's like more grayer. And there's the things in the fantasy world called gray elves, and they're a whole different type of elf. And I'm like, oh, I don't see any need to try to lighten his skin or change his tone. He should be onyx skin. That is the point. You know what I mean? Like, that's what he looks like. He's a drow. So the reason to do that is start integrating human issues with all this colorism and different skin tones and stuff, and causing issues where there is none for you to do that. You know what I mean? So, and people are like, oh, they're trying to like that's a better version of Driss because of that. I'm like, first off, he's onyx skin. This makes him quite unique. We don't need to be trying to change him and stuff. Like, please stop. You know, as a fan of Driss, I really would get pissed off when people try to do that. I don't like it. But yeah, let's see, I want to miss anything. After I said, when do I get my Dunkin' doll? Girl, it's gonna be a minute for that. But yeah, it's on the roster. Quote Rumple from Once Upon a Time. All magic comes at a price. Yes, it does. Oh, a Dunkin' doll sounds delicious. Yeah, Dunkin' is, yeah. He would be. I wanted to make a doll set for the book series for sure. Caliostro, Allison, Duncan, Delata, of course, and Catherine. I'm trying to think. Of course, there's other side characters, but those are the main four. But yeah, I want to make those at least. That would be really cool, actually, or like statuettes or action figures as well. Like, I'd love to do that kind of stuff for the book. That would be really super cool. But yeah, we all have plans for our books. Like, you always want to make swag and a whole bunch of other stuff because it's always fun. I always want to do that. Elsa. Lastly, for the physical books, beautiful illustration artwork pop-ups that you experience that you can't fully do for just ebook. It's very true. That's another thing, because if you look at all the bells and whistles you can do with physical books, you see all the Kickstarters. They have like the sprayed edges, the gold foil titles, the artwork inside, the what you call them, vellum sheets inside the book, the bookmarks, the things you could do with the physical stuff, like the made in bookmarks, the all the things. And you once you get ebook, okay, that's it. It's over. The physical books you could do all kinds of things. So it's like, and after I can help you design them like I did for Lee and Chase. Yeah, I know. Of course, I will hit you up because you do the doll stuff. So yeah, it's just with physical books, it's a different thing. It just is. As an adamant book reader, I like the physical book in my hand. I like turning the pages. I get like the new book smell. When I get a new book in the mail, I'm like so excited, you know. And not that I'm not excited when I download an ebook, but it's not the same thing. It's just not. Like when I backed SD Houston's Kickstarter for her new book, A Tale of Gems, and is it? I want to say it right because I'm gonna miss it, and I don't want to say it wrong. Like, let me see. I have the digital book on Book Funnel. Actually, let me pull up my library real quick. A Curse of Wings and Gems, because I have the first one, Curse of Scales and Feathers, which was awesome, by the way. Curse for Wings and Gems. I have the physical book too, and I have the digital book, because I will do that sometimes. I will buy the physical book and the digital book so I can have the digital book on my phone and my tablet. I can read it anytime I want, and then I have the physical book because I want that physical book. You know what I'm saying? So, good night, Devin. I'm about to get out of here myself because I do have to get to bed soon because I have like doctor appointments in the morning. Yay, maybe before work. Yay. So good night. Thanks for being here for the sprints. And I'll be back on Sunday. But yeah, so I bought that book physical. It's beautiful. Like the book, and I have the book, and it's like pictures in it and stuff. And of course, I got a bunch of swag with it from SD. But like, like the physical books, like that you just, I don't know. It's a whole nother thing. So that's why, even with my small books, and if you follow me, you see my Fractals and Room Within are very small, short stories, but you can get a physical copy on Amazon. I still wanted to offer that, even though it was a small book, because even though it's a short story, someone may want the physical book in hand. So I will always offer physical copies of my books because there are always people who want the physical book, even if it's a small book. Don't diss the small books, okay? size of books don't matter. They still count as books, even if it's a short story, a novella, a full size novel, and I'm air quoting that, or epic, So I think they all need the same respect nonetheless, no matter how small the story is or how big the story is. So that's just my take on that. Anyway, thanks everybody for being here tonight. It was great chatting with you all, doing the sprints and talking about some of my favorite writers and characters. That's always fun to do. Like-minded people talking about like-minded things. And again, I will be back on Sunday. If you're not subscribed to my newsletter, you know what to do. All the freebies are down in the description to get a copy of Winterwolf and or La Draga. See what your flavor is, dark fantasy or horror, monster horror. And you never know, you might like that. You might like to be scared. I don't know. So yeah. And check out my new series, my shorts series on my short tab. I'm putting out like demon romance prompts and demon romance like little story clips because I'm working on some demon romance, some dark fantasy demon romance. I've been getting into that a little bit. So anyway, I will see you on Sunday, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your week. I will be here doing more writing. I'll be writing in between because this still is the 90K writing challenge. And I'm trying to get my words in because I'm finishing Caliostro, but I'm working hard on it, trying to release it this year, even with all other crazy stuff I have going on. And even though this is not a scary writing sprint stream, I still always like to say in my closing, stay scared. Good night, everybody.